Tomorrow will be the 5th snow day for students in Hampton Roads. All schools in the 7 cities are closed again. Most in the surrounding areas are also closed, with some opening on a 2-hour delay. Newport News schools initially said it would open late, then reverse course an hour later, saying they would be closed after all. Robert Boyd talked to parents and students who are wondering when it will be safe enough to return.
Well, I'm walking up the entrance to Grassfield Elementary School. As you can see, still plenty of snow and ice here in the parking lot, as well as the streets leading up to the school. Just way too dangerous for kids to go back to class. Chesapeake Public Schools say neighborhood streets and school parking lots are just not safe enough for the daily grind of buses and cars that make up a typical school day.
We are slipping and sliding still. We're kind of worried about the buses coming out because the buses are so huge and they're carrying so many kids.
Janine Williams has 2 teenagers enrolled in the school district.
So I'd rather for them to be closed just to make sure the kids can come and go safely than for them to open up and something, really bad happens.
Schools like Grassfield have plenty of students that walk to class, which can also be problematic.
Some people have their sidewalks cleared, some people don't, if they're not all the way. And they obviously can't walk in the street with the two-way traffic.
Carl Proctor has 3 nieces that attend Grassfield Elementary. He says enough is enough. He's done babysitting.
They just need to plow it and then just plan how to get the kids to school on time. I mean, that's the goal, objective for the kids to learn. Honestly, instead of staying here all day, yeah.
You're getting tired of them?
A little bit.
When you combine the snow days and the Christmas break, Chesapeake students have only gone to school 2 days in the past 3 weeks.
And actually, it's kind of bad because right now they are actually supposed to be reviewing for SOLs. So I'm kind of worried of how much stuff they have retained.
Most cities in Hampton Roads will tell you they do not plow those back residential streets because it's just too narrow, too dangerous for their equipment to get through. In Chesapeake, Robert Boyd, 13 News Now.
We know temperatures will continue to warm this week, but overnight it may dip below freezing. The concern is for any ice that forms on the roadway. Let's check in now with Evan.
That's right, and we actually have temperatures in quite a few spots that are already at or below freezing. Right now it's 32 degrees at Norfolk International Airport, but you can see many inland spots. Wakefield 26, 30 in Suffolk, 29. Hampton and Newport News 28 up on the eastern shore. Even Virginia Beach and Currituck temperatures are below freezing, and that's the concern. The snow that we had that melted today will likely refreeze in many spots, and that'll cause some slick spots on the roadway. So temperatures pretty much holding where they are right now through the overnight, maybe fluctuating a degree or 2. But again, that big concern with temperatures at or below freezing, that we will see some refreezing of the roads and some of that snow melt that we saw earlier today, particularly on those bridges and overpasses. And to complicate matters even worse, we'll have some patchy fog developing later tonight with those winds coming in off the water. That'll move over some of the snowpack that is on the ground and create that fog. And we could even have some freezing fog, where the fog droplets will freeze on items, on cars and stuff as you're driving through it. So a lot of concerns later tonight. Be sure to check in on 13 News Now at daybreak. Tim and Ashley will be tracking traffic and weather beginning at 4:30. Now, I am talking about warmer temperatures in the short-term forecast. Details on that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Evan. Police are still investigating a hit and run just after New Year's Eve in Virginia Beach. A man was seriously injured, and now his friends tell us he has died. Investigators say the driver of the other car ran from the scene. The victim's friends spoke only to Chanu Her about that devastating night.
Well, Regina, the friends say they were actually all together that night just minutes before this happened. They were all supposed to meet to grab something to eat, but their friend never made it. It's surreal sitting on that spot on her couch.
I'm sitting where he sat every time he came to my house.
Jennifer Kellum still remembers so clearly the last time her friend Thomas hit sat right there.
He was here with us Christmas Eve. We spent Christmas Eve together.
After spending Christmas Eve together, Jennifer, Thomas, and Ashley Rainey also spent New Year's Eve together. After the countdown, the friends were planning to meet up somewhere else in Virginia Beach to celebrate. Thomas never made it.
It was right off of Independence, and nobody could figure out what happened.
Jennifer and Ashley say Thomas's car was hit from behind by another car. Police say the driver of the Dodge Durango ran from the scene. Meanwhile, Thomas's friends and family say he was left there, taken to the hospital, and he later died.
How do you leave an accident like that? You have to own up to what happened, and they're still looking for this person.
Some days you feel like you're going through the motions and you feel numb and you don't really feel anything at all, and then there's other days where you feel like you don't want to get out of bed and you just are devastated.
As police continue their investigation, these friends hope to get answers and find the person responsible for this crash who took their best friend minutes after ringing in the new year.
Someone can be there one moment and then another moment they're taken by the carelessness of someone else. That's the hard part for me.
All right, if you witnessed the crash or have any information, you're asked to call the Virginia Beach Police Department. We have that information on our website, 13newsnow.com. Chanu, 13 News Now.
The Portsmouth Humane Society is dealing with a pretty common problem in the aftermath of the winter storm. A pipe burst yesterday. Officials had to shut off the water and power. Today, crews cleaned up the mess and fixed the pipe. We're told the dogs are still at the shelter and they're all okay. They were just a little uneasy at first. The animals were moved to another area while crews worked on repairs.
Just like people, the stress of seeing something going on they don't understand, it's just been a little harder on them.
Repairs will cost at least $1,500. Workers are asking for donations. If you would like to help, we have information on our website. You can also drop off donations at the shelter. You may remember we told you about similar problems at the Virginia Beach SPCA. Today, crews repaired 7 broken pipes in the shelter and clinic. The power and phones are back on. We're told the SPCA will open with normal business hours tomorrow. Workers want to thank everyone who dropped off blankets, towels, and water for the animals. A big ruling today about North Carolina's congressional district map. Federal judges ruled that the map drawn by Republicans is illegally gerrymandered. The judges ordered the General Assembly to approve another set of districts by January 24th. A spokeswoman for the Senate Redistricting Committee chairman says lawmakers plan to appeal and may ask the Supreme Court to block the ruling. Well, in a few days, Virginia will have a new governor, but Governor-elect Ralph Northam is not waiting for Inauguration Day to start working. This morning, he laid out his legislative goals.
I like to do things as best I can. And
just days before his inauguration, Ralph Northam is gearing up to tackle his goals as Virginia's 73rd governor. Top of the list, job creation and ensuring students are trained for Virginia's hard-to-fill jobs.
We want to promote economic opportunity for all Virginians, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, bring skills to jobs. And so a lot of that is by recognizing what the jobs of the 21st century are.
Northam says he will continue outgoing Governor Terry McAuliffe's push for Medicaid expansion, but Northam also wants reforms to Medicaid.
Look at ways that we can provide more effective and more efficient care to Virginians, and at the end of the day, save our taxpayers money.
In his inaugural address, Northam says he'll describe how he will approach governing the same way he approaches being a doctor.
Taking care of thousands of children and their families, and never once has one of them asked me if I'm a Democrat or a Republican, nor have I asked them. And so when we take care of patients, we see an individual that needs our help. And that's really the way I approach public service in Virginia.
After a bitter fight over party control in the House of Delegates, Northam says it's time for unity.
We're in a position where we're going to need to work together to get things done. These are kind of common sense, nonpartisan challenges that we have. I think that we'll all be able to work together on.
He says unity will be at the heart of his tenure as governor.
We're going to be inclusive. Our lights are going to be on, our doors open. We're going to welcome people to Virginia.
Northam also says he does not want to give up his work as a pediatric neurologist. He hopes to see patients for a half day every other month. Well, Northam will take the oath of office this Saturday in Richmond. The inaugural celebration includes a parade, an open house at the Executive Mansion, and a ball. A special Virginia-made beer will also be brewed just for the occasion. It is called Inaugural? It's something like that. A company from Ashland is making the Belgian-style beer using only Virginia-grown ingredients.